This crime case, so fucking gross. Prepare yourselves, this is a true crime case. If you're not into that, then do not watch this video. You have been warned, now let's get into it. This is the Barnes Mystery, also known as the Richmond Murder. One of the most notorious crimes in the Victorian period in the United Kingdom. Julia Martha Thomas, a widow in her 50s, who lived in Richmond, London. Her roommate, Kate Webster, is a 30-year-old Irish woman with a history of theft. Julia Martha Thomas was a former school teacher and was widowed twice after the loss of 2 husbands. Since then, Julia lived alone. At this time in the 1800s, the small town that Julia lived in was very lowly populated. Julia was described as a small, well-dressed lady. In 1879, Julia was looking for an in-home servant, a maid, if you will. And that year, on January 29th, Julia found a lady by the name Kate Webster. She pretty much, in a sense, interviewed her and hired her on the spot. Her new servant, Kate Webster, was described as a tall, strongly made woman, highly freckled complexion, with large, prominent teeth. The details of Kate's early life are unclear, but according to her, she had been married to a sea captain and had 4 children by him. And then suddenly all of her children died, and so did her husband in a short period of time. Nobody knows if this is true. She was known to fabricate a lot of stories. Over a short period of time, she started to see Kate's deceiving ways and did not like that at all. This leads to Julia actually firing Kate and told her that she had to be gone within the next few days. Kate ended up persuading Julia to keep her a little while longer, but when her time came to depart, she refused. She left that evening and then she came back. Julia was infuriated. She told Kate to leave or else. The argument escalated. Julia ran upstairs. Kate followed after. The argument got very heated and escalated rather quickly. In the heat of the argument, her anger overtook her and she threw Julia down the stairs. She became so agitated that she went down the stairs after her and smothered her. Neighbors reported hearing the altercation. This is when it gets disgusting. If you have a weak stomach, just scroll or fast forward, because this will actually make you sick. To get rid of Julia's body, Kate dismembered it, chopped it up into pieces. She then took certain sections of Julia's body and put it in a big pot with water and boiled it to try to boil the skin off the bone. She wanted to get all the flesh off. She also extracted the fat from Julia's body and containered it to sell to neighbor children and other people who lived around there as lard, a thick oil so they could cook with it or something like that. I'm not sure how that actually works, but she was selling it so that people could use it for food. They obviously didn't know that they were buying their neighbor to eat. She also threw some of the other remains into the river. They did find most of Julia in the river, but it took them 9 months to find Julia's head. And even more creepy, after Kate killed Julia, Kate disguised herself as Julia. So she started walking around town pretending she was Julia. But after so long, people realized that she was not Julia, and so she left and fled back to Ireland, to her uncle's home. There she was arrested on March 29th and was taken back to the United Kingdom. She was convicted pretty quickly and sentenced to death. She tried to avoid the death penalty by pleading pregnant. She wasn't. She was sentenced to hanging. And the night before her execution, she admitted to the murder. She looks absolutely fucking terrifying. To, hire somebody that you welcome into your home. Julia fed Kate, gave her a place to stay. Although she was the maid, she was still giving her a place to stay because obviously Kate needed work, she needed money. And to let someone into your home, and then they chop you into pieces, and then boil you, and then feed you to the neighbors. Crazy.